Hello everyone, my name is Masoki Mamasoki. I am the son of the holy cave, the holy grotto, the Pierce Rock, the Rocky Mountain, the mountain of gods called Ngoglituba in Cameroon. Cameroon is a Western African country that shares borders with Nigeria on its western side. I am also the great-grandson and heir to the great patriarch, the great guardian of traditions, the one who has overcome death in the name of Mbombo Jami. Before I can carry on, I would like to remind you that English is my third language, so I beg you to bear with my English accent. Over the years, I have been teaching ancient African understanding of the universe, and I have always maintained that God can only be black and an African woman. And over the years, I have demonstrated this. However, due to time, I won't be able to do it again today, because I have noticed that on social media, people don't watch long video. So if you want to see me demonstrate the blackness of God, I recommend you to subscribe to my YouTube channel Masoki Mamasoki and watch my video. African people, black people, have always asked me if God is black, if God is an African woman. Why are we killed every day by a white and racist police in America? Why this Ku Klux Klan police kill us every day? Why African people have been enslaved for 400 years? Why were they colonized for more than 100 years? And yet God is black, and yet God is an African woman. For those who don't understand God and religion, this seems contradictory. But once you understand God and religions, you don't find any contradiction of God being black, an African woman, and African people being enslaved, and African people being killed by white, racist, and Ku Klux Klan police. Okay. And over the years, I have also said that whatever your religion, whatever name you attribute, whatever name you use to call God in your own language, that God is African, that God is a black woman. All religions started in Africa, and black people are the first on earth. Now, those people, those Europeans who bring you those Abrahamic religion, which are forgery and misinterpretations of African spirituality, they did not have religion. They did not have religion until they met black people, until they met Africans. Because the concept of God itself is Africans. The concept of God originated in Africa. So only African people can tell you, only African people can explain you God. Hello. God is not something we pray to. God is not something we pray to. God is not something that will come and deliver us. God is something we understand and we apply. Religion is not something we believe. Religion is something we know. Religion, in the ancient African understanding, religion has nothing to do with belief. Religion is knowledge. That is why in Africa, our ancestors never separated religion from science. Science and religion in Africa, in our traditions, is one and same thing. In fact, the word science, just as the word Bible, are African and Bassa word. The word science, just like mathematics, geometry, are African word. Science come from Sa. Sa, which is that black woman, which is God in Africa. So science is the understanding of a black woman. Science is the understanding of a black woman called Sa. This is that black woman that is also the rocky mountain in West Africa called Ngorletuba. Because the Bassa people who left the rocky mountain called Ngorletuba in West Africa, they are the one who established the ancient pharaonic and Egyptian civilization. And until this day in Egypt, you still have a city called Sa. It is called in the north of Egypt. You have a city called Sa el Egar. So when the Bassa people, when the Arab came, they added El Egar, but it is originally called Sa. So science is the understanding of a black woman, of Sa. And our ancestors never separated science from religion. That is why in ancient Egypt, science was done by the priests who were religious, who were also religious people. So science was reserved for religious priests. That is why all those ancient Greek scientists that studied science in Egypt were also philosophers. Plato, Pythagoras, Thales, just to name few, studied at least for 15 years in ancient Egypt. They studied science, mathematics in ancient Egypt. But they were also philosophers, because in Africa, science and metaphysics are not separated. And we the Bassa people today in Cameroon, in West Africa, we have many names for science. In fact, before I go to that, let's go to the Bible. Remember I told you before that the word Bible itself is an African word. It's a Bassa word. If you read the book of Proverbs in the Bible, written by King Solomon, by the way, King Solomon never existed. I've also told you that all those people here in the Bible never existed, because the Bible is just a forgery of African understanding of the universe. Even the Bible itself said that all those people never existed. So if you read the book of Galatians, in the Bible, chapter 4, verse 20 to 24, it says that all those people are allegory, so they never existed. So in the book of Proverbs, this is what King Solomon said: the fear of God is the beginning of science. The fear of God is the beginning of science. So religions, God and science is the same thing. So you cannot separate. So science and religion are not separated. For instance, you in physics, you have the word atom. Atom is the smallest particle of a matter. But what was atom? Atom was just a Bassa and Egyptian god in ancient Egypt. So this to show that the Bassa people never separated science and religions. That's why we in West Africa, we have names such as Batum. Batum means those of Atum. Atum is an ancient Egyptian god. It's also the smallest particle of a matter. And we the Bassa people in West Africa, how do you call the universe? We call the universe Mbok. We call the universe Mbok. And also, how do you call religion? We also call the religion Mbok. And the universe is not something to believe. The universe is something to understand, because the universe has law that have to be understood. And also, how do you call science? Because we have many names of science. We also call science Makang. Makang means witchcraft. So we do not separate science and witchcraft, and we do not separate science and metaphysics. And what is witchcraft? It's just the understanding of the force of the universe. It's just the understanding of the force of the universe. And what is a witch or a wizard? A witch or a wizard is somebody who understands the force of the universe and who manipulate and apply them. So God is something to be understood. Religion is not different from science. So religion has to be understood. Religion has nothing to do with belief in the ancient African understanding of the universe. So religion is just like a gun on the table. If you have your gun on the table, and then people enter your house to steal or to kill you, if you don't pick up your gun and shoot at them, the gun itself on the table we never shoot at the intruders. We never shoot at the people who comes to attack you in your own house. So if you leave your gun on the table thinking that this gun by itself is going to kill those people, you're just going to get killed. This is stupidity. So you have to pick up your own gun and fire. So God is what? This black woman is what? It's something you understand and use. Not something that will come and deliver you. It's just like the sun. The sun can produce electricity, but not by itself. You have to understand the sun, and when you understand the solar energy, then you create solar panel to transform the solar energy into electricity. We call this kind of energy, I think they call it photovoltaic energy. The same thing with water. Water can also produce electricity, but not by itself. You have to understand water. And when you understand water, then you create dams and turbine. Then you transform water into electricity. So God is something you understand. God is not different from science. This black woman has to be understood. Nsa has to be understood. So it's not because God is black and African woman, that she will come and deliver black people from the hand of the white oppressor. You have to understand God and use God to deliver yourself, because God is not different from science. That is why these white people, they are afraid of any country that has nuclear weapon. That's why they don't want country to get nuclear weapon. If Libya had nuclear weapon, those white people will have not messed up with Libya. They cannot attack China. China has nuclear weapon. Today, they are afraid of North Korea because North Korea is building nuclear weapon. God in science. This black woman is science. This African woman is science. So science come from Sa, this black woman, this God, this Rocky Mountain in West Africa. So God, religion is not something, is not a belief in an African tradition. Religion is knowledge. Religion is not separated from rationality. That's why we call religion Mbok. We also call the universe Mbok. And Mbok has law that has to be understood. Mbok has principle that has to be understood. And when we understood them, we can use them, we can manipulate them. God is not something we pray to. God is something we understand and use. Thank you very much, my dear brothers and sisters, for watching. I try my best to record in English language because I want you in the diaspora to come back to your roots, to your African roots. Because God can only be black. God can only be an African woman. I have been teaching traditions for many years now. So you can subscribe to my YouTube channel, Masoki Mama Soki, to watch my video. You have video in my ancestral Basa language, French and English. Thank you very much for watching. Amboge sai, amboge sai, amboge mayonga sai, sai mbok.